Right.media.
We're back on the SWOSU Coaches Show. I'm Mike Smith, and we're joined by men's basketball coach Terry Evans as we start the program. And, Coach, thanks for the visit as we get to talk some more Bulldog basketball.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you aboard. And, well, Coach, first of all, congratulations. 3 wins in 4 days, the Great American Conference Basketball Tournament last week, and great performance by your Bulldog men's squad as you get the automatic bid to the NCAA basketball tournament by winning the GAC Conference tournament over the weekend. So congratulations on that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I thought our guys came out and played tough all weekend. We played way better offensively. And our defense and rebounding was just absolutely amazing. So proud of our young men.
Coach, what was it that you thought maybe flipped things around, where the light bulb maybe went off a little bit? I don't know what you want to call it, but man, I mean, tell you what, the team played so well over the 3 games. And I know you and I had even talked prior to going into that tournament. You just wanted to get in the tournament and have a chance because you really felt like you could make some noise.
Yeah, we felt like we hadn't really had our complete team all year. We've always had somebody missing, somebody hurt. And when you have your complete team and you can throw out 8 or 9 guys, we're way better because we're a very good up-tempo basketball team. And when we can change people's tempo and speed them up, and we can play faster, we're better. And it's tough to do that when you only have 5 or 6 guys, somebody's hurt or somebody's sick. And we figured once we got our entire team together, we would be pretty good. Plus, if you look at our season, if we hadn't blown so many games at home, we would have had a chance to probably finish in the top 3 or 4 in the standings. So we didn't get that done. We had a very disappointing preseason and then a very average conference season where we finished close to 500, but not where we wanted to finish. But our postseason has just been incredible. It's probably been one of the best runs in the history of the school. I know it's probably the best run since we've been Division II, our first conference championship, and we earned it. We did it the hard way.
Well, that's, however it was, a hard way or not a hard way, you got the job done, and, that's perseverance on your team. So, congratulations for the guys to hanging in there. And, I think it seemed like it was a different mindset for them. It was more like, okay, the regular season is done. We're 0-0. Let's go get 3 wins.
You're exactly right. They were so locked in. They were kind of ready. I wouldn't say ready to get the regular season over with, but what can you win in that last week of the regular season? You know you're going to be the 7th seed more than likely. So we were focused on who we were going to play. We loved the bracket when it came out because the way the bracket is designed, the number 1 and 2 seed have a clear advantage to get to the finals. The 1 and 2 seed, all they have to do is beat the 7 or 8 seed. Then they get a day off. Then they get to play a team that's probably pretty tired, that's played, 2 or 3 games in a row. But when we upset the 2 seed, that put us in that position to get that rest and to be able to play up-tempo basketball against teams that are probably a little bit tired. And I thought we took full advantage of that, and everything worked out for us.
You feel like that day off was a huge advantage for your team?
Oh, yeah. First of all, we played the very first game of the tournament. We played the early game, and we got all of that day off after we won. We got the next day off. Then coming back, I felt like we were rested. We were healthy. We were 9 deep. Guys is ready to go. Guys ready to play. and we jumped out on Southern Arc in the semifinals after beating Oklahoma Baptist in that first game, and we got up 50-21 against a very good team. Matter of fact, we were up 30 against a team that had beat us 30 on New Year's Day. So that's how much improvement we've made. And then that finals game, I thought SNU was a little banged up, even though they came out and played really well in the first half. We kind of wore them down, and as the game went on, I felt like the game would go in our favor.
I really felt like Jalen Williams had a couple of big three-pointers back to back, as I recall, late in the second half against Southern Nazarene. I thought that really gave you the shot of momentum you needed to carry on and win the ball game.
Oh, yeah. Jalen had a great tournament. He played great defense. We all know he makes timely shots. He shot it great pretty much all weekend. He's the key to our offense, really. He sets good ball screens. He normally has a mismatch when bigs are guarding him because he can bring them away from the basket. And at the same time, he's good enough where he can guard them and rebound. So he gives us a lot. He gives us something that nobody else on our team really can do in terms of our big guys. And kudos to him in his last year, his senior year. He went out on top in terms of GAC play.
Well, more with head coach Terry Evans coming up next on the SWOSU Coaches Show.
Are you considering home health and hospice for a loved one? Shepherd Home Health and Hospice in Clinton knows that this is one of the most important decisions that you will ever make. This is your loved one, after all. Shepherd Home Health and Hospice is a trusted name in the home health and hospice industry. Locally owned and operated since 2006, Shepherd Home Health and Hospice has serviced Clinton and the surrounding areas with caring and dependable service. See what Shepherd Home Health and Hospice can do for you and your loved one today.
There's a new energy in Oklahoma, wind and natural gas working together, keeping your energy prices steady and affordable. Clean, affordable, natural gas and wind. Oklahoma's new energy from PSO. There's a new energy in Oklahoma, wind and natural gas working together, creating jobs and more money for communities and schools. Clean, affordable, natural gas and wind. Oklahoma's new energy from PSO.
Weatherford Regional Hospital is committed to serving Western Oklahoma with the best facilities, technologies, and employees. Everything from the convenient care clinic to the highly trained oncology department to the top-of-the-line mammography and x-ray equipment, down to the women's center, nursery, and emergency room. Weatherford Regional Hospital strives to provide you with a safe, clean, comfortable environment. Give them a call today or check them out online at weatherfordhospital.com.
Need your oil and filter changed? Take your vehicle to CJ Southwest Tire in Weatherford. There is no appointment needed. Bring your car, truck, or diesel in today. You can wait in the comfort of their smoke-free lounge while experienced technicians change your oil and filter on your vehicle. CJ Southwest Tire on the corner of Main and Kansas in Weatherford. Your Bridgestone and Firestone dealer. CJ Southwest Tire. See them on Facebook and at cjsouthwesttire.com.
We're back on the SWOSU Coaches Show. Mike Smith joined by men's basketball coach Terry Evans. And Coach, we alluded to it in the first segment of the Coaches Show that you are GAC champs. Now you are also going to continue on your season as you move on and play in the NCAA basketball tournament this week. You get the automatic bid to go to Augustana and play in South Dakota. I guess before we talk a little bit about that, you're the only GAC school that got the bid. You get the automatic bid, but nobody got an at-large bid in the GAC. Did that surprise you that nobody else got at least an at-large in the GAC?
Yeah, it was disappointing. I thought it was disrespectful to our league. The first weekend of the season, our league didn't perform well in crossover games against other conferences, and that had something to do with it. But the team that won our league, Southeastern, I think they were 23-6, and a team that got in from the MIAA, I think they had 10 losses, but they had a lot of good wins too. So I can see the committee's issue with who they're going to put in. But the main problem is we won the tournament, so that means somebody's getting knocked out. One of the teams up north in Minnesota was an upset winner as well, so that eliminates 2 teams. So that makes it tough on the selection committee to determine who's going to be the other 6 teams to get at-large bids. 5 were pretty clear. Then it was out of probably Washburn, who got in, and Southeastern for that last seed. But the fact that you had 2 upset tournament winners probably knocked out a team in our league. I thought that we should have had Southeastern and us, but the Minnesota League got 4 teams in, so we're definitely good enough to have at least 2.
So, Coach, you play the number 1 seed on their home floor on Saturday. You play Augustana. Your thoughts about Augustana?
They're a good team. They're solid. They've only lost 3 games all year, so they're solid on defense. They're very consistent. Got a big kid inside that can really play. I think he averages 18, 19 points a game, and that's kind of how they play. They go through him. But at the same time, they have 4 other guys that are averaging either double figures, or I think one's at 9 points a game, but they're solid all the way around. They have 5 guys that can really play. They're not deep. They only play about 7 people normally, which is to our advantage, to try to speed them up and get them to play in the type of tempo game that we want. So I feel like we have a chance, good as any. I don't think they're too much better than all of the teams in our league. They played we have a like opponent in Southern Arc. They beat Southern Arc the first game of the year by 8 points, and we had Southern Arc down 50-21. So we have a chance, but obviously we have to play 40 minutes of basketball and give ourselves an opportunity. We will be playing on their home court, which they use the Pentagon, a beautiful Division I type facility, and I'm sure it'll be packed, a rowdy crowd. But I think that gets our guys going. You know how we are on the road, so we're looking forward to the opportunity.
You've played really well on the road this season, Coach. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the energy. I don't know what it is. Our home court is not your typical home court advantage, kind of like it was back when Southwestern had Rankin. I used to bring teams in here and play at Rankin, and it was a home court advantage. I mean, it was rowdy, it was small, and our arena is more open, and it's not your typical home court advantage. But there's no excuse. We shoot on these goals every day. We should have played better at home last year, but on the road, you kind of you got 12 guys against the world, and that's kind of the attitude we take into road trips.
Well, sounds good. Go get a road trip win on Saturday and just keep it going, and good luck when you go to Augustana this weekend.
All right. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Head coach Terry Evans with us on the Bulldog Coaches Show. We'll have more coming up next.
When it's time to unwind, pick up a bottle of your favorite stuff at Butcher's Wine and Spirits in Weatherford. All the top brands at the absolute best price. From whiskey, bourbon, gin, and scotch to your favorite craft, import, or domestic beer, Butcher's has you covered. And when it comes to wine, Butcher's has the best selection in town. And don't forget to check out their sale rack with deep discounts. Butcher's Wine and Spirits on Main in Weatherford.
Your parents have always protected you and provided the best way they knew how. Now it's your turn to make sure that they are taken care of. Corn Heritage Village and Rehab of Corn and Weatherford is a community providing long-term and skilled nursing care to enhance the lives and meet the needs of individuals and families. Their mission is to provide the highest level of care for your loved ones. Visit them at cornheritage.org or find them on Facebook.
Families and CK Energy Electric Cooperative, it's the ideal partnership. CK Energy makes every customer an owner of the business. Unlike other electric utilities, CK Energy exists to make sure your needs are always met, not to make a profit. We are locally owned and operated, and we are always there with you, reinvesting in your community. That's why in an electric co-op, the people have the power. Owned by our communities, committed to our members.
CK is your energy.
On the corner of Custer and Main Street in Weatherford, More Than Medicine stands ready to fill your prescriptions in a fast, friendly, and professional way. They also offer an outstanding selection of gifts for people of all ages. Their Gold Crown Hallmark card selection is second to none, and More Than Medicine is the perfect place for a bridal registry. All this, that's why it's called More Than Medicine. Corner of Main and Custer in Weatherford. They're on call for you 24 hours a day.
And we're back on the SWOSU Coaches Show. In this segment, we're joined by women's basketball coach Kelsey Music. And Coach, thanks for the visit as we head down the tournament trail. The regular season is done, and here's the postseason.
Yes, thank you. We're excited.
Oh, I'll tell you what, lots of reasons for you and your team to be excited, for Bulldog Nation to be excited, as both Bulldog basketball teams made the NCAA basketball tournament. How awesome is that?
It's extremely awesome. I mean, it's a great day to be a Bulldog. And I mean, honestly, it's just great for all of Weatherford. I mean, both high school teams are in the state tournament. Both SWOSU basketball teams are in the NCAA tournament. So everybody's still dancing and everybody's still playing.
What I think is really great is that it's the first time in GAC history that the same school has captured the men's and women's title in the same season.
Absolutely. It's awesome when you get to make history. I mean, my ladies team has done it a handful of times, but to have our men and women both capture that Great American Conference tournament title, it was just an amazing Sunday in Shawnee.
Coach, when you look at the Great American Conference tournament overall, your team played so impressive those 3 games, scoring over 85 points a ball game. It really felt like to me that it seemed like the team has been clicking all year long, but even clicked more during the tournament.
You know, that's one thing we talk about all season. I mean, starting back when we got to play those 3 preseason games in West Texas. I mean, we played with 2 weeks worth of practice under our belt with 5 freshmen and, a handful of newcomers. So, we talked about growing each and every time we take the court, growing in practice, growing throughout. Basketball is a long season. It covers 2 semesters. It's a long season. So just growing each and every time. And I compare it to climbing a mountain. You want to be towards the top once you get to March. And I feel like my team has really embraced the growth, the maturity, the experience, and just continuing to climb that mountain so we can reach our goals.
Once you go through a regular season like that, do you feel like that those freshmen are now sophomores in reality?
Not quite, but they're almost there. I think they're doing a phenomenal job. I think, the tournament was great experience too, because honestly, even, even the Gore twins, they're upperclassmen per se, but they hadn't been to a Great American Conference tournament because last year it wasn't held like it was. The year before that, Matt got to play in the tournament. We got upset. And so, as overall, the majority of my team hasn't played in that type of environment, that type of a setting, and that type of an actual tournament. So I was extremely proud of them. So we're extremely young still, but just to be able to experience that, to grow and have a better understanding going into the regional tournament, it was great for us.
You have to feel like, though, that they handled that atmosphere really well, though, as a team.
Absolutely. I think they did. I mean, I thought we had, we played pretty good basketball all weekend, in my opinion. We did a lot of things right. Our defense was really good. And especially, our rebounding, I thought we rebounded the ball very well. And those things are imperative as you go into a regional and the national tournament like we're about to do. Those things are key in order to continue to be successful.
And we'll continue our visit with SWOSU basketball coach Kelsey Music next on the SWOSU Coaches Show.
Are you considering home health and hospice for a loved one? Shepherd Home Health and Hospice in Clinton knows that this is one of the most important decisions that you will ever make. This is your loved one, after all. Shepherd Home Health and Hospice is a trusted name in the home health and hospice industry. Locally owned and operated since 2006, Shepherd Home Health and Hospice has serviced Clinton and the surrounding areas with caring and dependable service. See what Shepherd Home Health and Hospice can do for you and your loved one today.
There's a new energy in Oklahoma, wind and natural gas working together, keeping your energy prices steady and affordable. Clean, affordable, natural gas and wind. Oklahoma's new energy from PSO. There's a new energy in Oklahoma, wind and natural gas working together, creating jobs and more money for communities and schools. Clean, affordable, natural gas and wind. Oklahoma's new energy from PSO.
Weatherford Regional Hospital is committed to serving Western Oklahoma with the best facilities, technologies, and employees. Everything from the convenient care clinic to the highly trained oncology department to the top-of-the-line mammography and x-ray equipment, down to the women's center, nursery, and emergency room. Weatherford Regional Hospital strives to provide you with a safe, clean, comfortable environment. Give them a call today or check them out online at weatherfordhospital.com.
Need your oil and filter changed? Take your vehicle to CJ Southwest Tire in Weatherford. There is no appointment needed. Bring your car, truck, or diesel in today. You can wait in the comfort of their smoke-free lounge while experienced technicians change your oil and filter on your vehicle. CJ Southwest Tire on the corner of Main and Kansas in Weatherford. Your Bridgestone and Firestone dealer. CJ Southwest Tire. See them on Facebook and at cjsouthwesttire.com.
Back on the SWOSU Coaches Show, Mike Smith visiting with women's basketball coach Kelsey Music. Well, Coach, the regular season is done. Here we are with the postseason, and, the GAC basketball tournament just wrapped up. A real quick thought, though. You had, maybe 2-3 teams that really kind of stood out in the GAC this season. One or two would try to put some pressure on you at any given time during the regular season as far as being in that second slot. But did it surprise you that you only got one GAC school in the NCAA tournament?
A little bit. I thought the Great American Conference is still extremely strong. I know we ended up winning it by a handful of games, but there's still some really good teams. But I think the way that the numbers fall and the NCAA and whatnot, it doesn't always make sense from the outside looking in. But there's a number system that goes along with it that doesn't always meet the eye. So it is a little bit surprising, but the Great American Conference, we've just got to continue to push forward and do the best we can. I definitely think the Great American Conference can compete in the region if they would give us the opportunity, or at least having at least 2 to 3 teams in would be phenomenal.
And you've certainly proven that throughout the years when you've gone and you've competed in that central region. You've gone through there before and you've won it all and gone to the national tournament. Your thoughts about your first round opponent coming up on Friday as you take on Missouri Western State?
They run a lot of sets. I think the MIAA, they always have a really good post game and they've got a good guard game. They're gonna, they are gonna guard us similar to SNU as in the full court setting. But they're in the shell. They're not going to guard us. I don't think they're not going to deny us as hard, but they're a quality team. They've got some good inside presence from their players. They can shoot it and they can really get to the rim. They love to get most of their shots in the paint. So we're really going to have to do a good job of being a unit on defense, and they rebound the ball really well. And so, we've got to block out. That's just going to be huge for us.
Coach, you did have the opportunity to play a couple of MIAA schools at home earlier this season. That was after you went to West Texas. I think. Actually, you played a couple of MIAA schools, Pittsburgh State, also Washburn. So can you compare what you saw in those games to what you'll see today from what you'll see Friday rather from Missouri Western?
I think it's very similar. I think, in Central Mo, we played at the West Texas Tip-Off Classic. So they just played Central Missouri in their conference tournament. So that's definitely a comparison that we can make. I think every team is a lot different in March than they are in October or November, but they're very similar in the fact that their guards are, like I said, want to get to the basket, and they definitely have a post presence. They want to get their back to the basket and score in the paint. So that's something where not all the Great American Conference teams, some of them are more guard heavy, in my opinion, but they definitely have that inside presence. We've got to make sure that we're ready to guard and contain and contest.
What will you tell your team before you hit the floor on Friday?
You got to survive in advance. Any given moment, your season can end now. It's once you make it to that select team of 64, you're playing in a region, you're playing to try to make it to the Elite Eight. You got to survive to advance. We got to be playing our best basketball. We don't have time for coulda, shoulda, woulda. There's nothing more painful than regrets. We got to put our best 40 minutes together each and every time we get the opportunity. But it's do or die right now. We got to be ready to play our best basketball.
And Coach, before we let you go, I guess one final point, and I was looking at the bracket. I don't know how you feel about it, looking at it maybe from an X's and O's. Maybe the teams better than I do, but it looks like it's a very stacked region that, there's any of, 3, 4, 5 teams that could come out of this thing, or you could wind up playing somebody you don't think you're going to play.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a phenomenal region. I think it's one of the strongest regions in the country, honestly. So, like I said, we have to play our best basketball, but anyone should have the opportunity to win this weekend. It's whoever's going to, make the fewest mistakes, who's going to, defend and rebound best, and then be able to transfer that to the offensive end and make shots. So it's going to be a great weekend of basketball, and we hope to be playing for 3 days, 3 games, and hopefully secure another regional championship.
Sounds good. Let's go get them. Go Dogs, and we'll see you in Kansas.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll have more of the SWOSU Coaches Show coming up next.
When it's time to unwind, pick up a bottle of your favorite stuff at Butcher's Wine and Spirits in Weatherford. All the top brands at the absolute best price. From whiskey, bourbon, gin, and scotch to your favorite craft, import, or domestic beer, Butcher's has you covered. And when it comes to wine, Butcher's has the best selection in town. And don't forget to check out their sale rack with deep discounts. Butcher's Wine and Spirits on Main in Weatherford.
Your parents have always protected you and provided the best way they knew how. Now it's your turn to make sure that they are taken care of. Corn Heritage Village and Rehab of Corn and Weatherford is a community providing long-term and skilled nursing care to enhance the lives and meet the needs of individuals and families. Their mission is to provide the highest level of care for your loved ones. Visit them at cornheritage.org or find them on Facebook.
Families and CK Energy Electric Cooperative, it's the ideal partnership. CK Energy makes every customer an owner of the business. Unlike other electric utilities, CK Energy exists to make sure your needs are always met, not to make a profit. We are locally owned and operated, and we are always there with you, reinvesting in your community. That's why in an electric co-op, the people have the power. Owned by our communities, committed to our members.
CK is your energy.
On the corner of Custer and Main Street in Weatherford, More Than Medicine stands ready to fill your prescriptions in a fast, friendly, and professional way. They also offer an outstanding selection of gifts for people of all ages. Their Gold Crown Hallmark card selection is second to none, and More Than Medicine is the perfect place for a bridal registry. All this, that's why it's called More Than Medicine. corner of Main and Custer in Weatherford. They're on call for you 24 hours a day.
That concludes this week's segment of the SWOSU Coaches Show. Thanks to our guest this week, men's basketball coach Terry Evans, women's basketball coach Kelsey Music. I'm Mike Smith, thanking you for watching this week's edition of the SWOSU Coaches Show. Join us again next week, and until next time, so long, everybody.
Right.media.